Alrighty, let's get started. Hi there and welcome everyone to the Elk Grove Unified School District Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Chelsea and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is one of different sessions, so to be sure to check out the schedule. This is the last session of tonight. And this presentation will be recorded and available at strivescan.com/elk-grove. If there's any that you hadn't gotten to see, they will all be there. Without further ado, I'm very excited to turn it over to our first presenter, and that will be Cal Maritime.
Hi, thank you. My name's Jessica. I am the Senior Enrollment Services Counselor with Cal Maritime, and I'm going to give you a brief overview of who we are, what we do, and why we do it so well. So that opening scene that you see there, that is actually an aerial shot of our campus. And what's kind of cool is that shot was actually taken by one of our high-ranking cadet leaders a few years ago who was passionate about hang gliding. So he was able to combine his hobby with marketing for campus. So we really appreciated that. But as you can see, we are truly a waterfront campus, which plays into the overall theme of what we do, which is a focus on the ocean and commerce on the ocean, all of which encompasses the maritime industry. So throughout the presentation, there are a few QR codes. If you have your phone with you, you can definitely whip that out and snap the QR code to be taken directly to our mailing list to be able to learn more about us. So a few things, we are a California State University, and I do see that there's no other CSUs on this list. So when I get to admissions requirements, I'll spell them out very briefly. But we are a specialized campus of the CSU system. So our focus is the maritime industry. Our focus is teaching young men and women how to work as engineers on ships or to navigate those vessels in the deck department, eventually becoming captain, 10 or 12 years after graduation. But there's also a focus on shoreside support for the maritime industry. So all of the travel and all of the commerce on, the containers that cross the ocean, all of the world's goods, all of that leads back to our different programs. And so we make sure to give our students very hands-on experience. It's part of our applied technology compass point. We also try to make sure we give them exposure to industries on a global scale. So that comes back to the global awareness component. We emphasize leadership development here, which I'm actually going to talk about next, because I did mention we have cadets, not just students. So it's a regimented experience. And then also intellectual learning. We really stress to our students that the class time, your actual lecture time is supposed to be an opportunity to learn from each other. So homework is done at home. It's not, the readings are not done in class. We do have the highest employment rate in the Cal State system, which we're incredibly proud of, but it's also a little unfair. We're the only maritime academy west of Texas. And if you think about all of the United States coastline from Alaska all the way down through Washington, Oregon, California, and then Hawaii, there's a lot of ports along there. And so we're the only, like I said, we're the only maritime academy. We're the only place teaching you how to work on those large commercial vessels west of Texas. So we kind of have an unfair advantage. So all of our students are cadets, and they all participate in the Corps of Cadets, which is the regimented student body. So our students are required to wear uniforms to class. We did steal the look from the military, but there is not a military requirement for our students. We have plenty of opportunities for them to do reserve programs like ROTC or other specialized programs, but about 92% of our students do not actually participate in a military reserve option or pursue enlistment or commission upon graduation. So it's not necessarily the main focus of our students. In addition to the leadership opportunities in the Corps of Cadets, we also have traditional elected student body government, like class vice president, class treasurer. So our students kind of have, they have multiple representing voices for them on campus. Now we have 7 majors. As I said, they all lead back to the water. So for example, our business administration program has a focus on international supply chain. So the process of getting goods from the raw state material to the end user, and then international maritime business. So shipping agencies or marine insurance underwriting. Global Studies and Maritime Affairs is the study of policy making. It is learning how write policies and then create support systems when those policies and laws are enacted. Oceanography kind of speaks for itself. It's the study of the ocean and all of the biological creatures inside. And then we have 3 types of engineering. So we do have mechanical engineering, which is our most popular major, marine engineering and facilities engineering, which are learning how to maintain large power plants, power generation systems on land or at sea, and then marine transportation. So the most unique major in the Cal State system. All of our students travel internationally prior to graduation. So while the CSU has the traditional study abroad semesters, these programs are really designed to be incredibly hands-on. And so you're being immersed in the professional world on a global scale versus attending university for a semester in another country, which is still an excellent opportunity. Our programs are just a little more specialized and shorter. They're 1 to 2 months during the summers. In terms of requirements, so with the CSU, I'm sure most of you have heard of the A through G categories. That's your academic categories. So it's just your history, sciences, math, visual and performing arts, foreign languages, and then college electives. So we need to see C- or better in all of those categories, but we use those classes to calculate your GPA. If you have less than a 2.5 GPA, we'll take some other matters into consideration. But for impacted majors, we really need to see the minimum requirements, and then we'll quantify your other accomplishments, which traditionally would have been recorded on a resume. So Cal Maritime as a CSU does not do essays, letters of recommendation, or personal statements, but a number of other institutions do. So it's usually pretty good to have a checklist so you can keep things straight. Big shout out to mechanical engineering. They love math so much. They start out with college level calculus immediately. So they need to have pre-calculus completed by graduation. In terms of financial aid, I know I'm ending near the end of my time, just basically summarizing it, get someone else to pay for it through scholarships and grants. And then again, take out your phone, take a snapshot of this. These are all the different application deadlines, as well as some of our open houses and opportunities to reach us. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Lassen Community College.
Hear me? Sorry guys, hello. Can you hear me now? Hopefully you can. So I am up in Susanville, California, so Northern California. We are in a small rural community. Lassen Community College is a great stepping stone to start your college career, learn how to be a college student, live on your own, and then launch into a university of your choice or hit the ground running and start your career. A few things Lassen Community College has to offer us. So we're a small campus. We have about 1,500 students on campus. We have lots and lots of different programs for you guys to choose from, and I will get into those in a minute. We're very small. We can customize your plans, like I said, so individual education plans for each of our students to make sure you stay on your path and complete as quickly as you can, along with individual counselors. So you know who to come and see if you have questions or concerns or just need some additional help. We do have on-campus dorms. We're one of the few community colleges in California to offer on-campus living. And then we have multiple athletic teams as well. Just a few things. So like I said, we are a small campus. These are some things that we get to do with our students being a small campus. We do an onboarding program. So we do Cougar Kickoff, which is 2 weeks prior to the fall semester starting, and then we do boot camp. But you can see here during Cougar Kickoff, it's a great time for students to get to know each other. We're really big on connecting you with your fellow classmates. And so we did bingo at Starbucks, we did s'mores. We had quite a few international students here at Lassen Community College, many who had never had or made a s'more before. And so we did that. We took them to a couple of our local restaurants, just had a really good time. So we're really big on you guys having that great student experience and connecting with those around you. So kind of couldn't say it any better. Lassen Community College, it's not just a college, LCC is a built-in family. You're never alone. That comes straight from one of our students. We just hired her actually as a student ambassador. So if you were to come and check out Lassen College, go on a campus tour or a virtual tour, you have a good chance of meeting Miss Morgan. She's one of our student athletes as well. But just a few more pictures about campus and what our students are doing. So our pathways, we have broken out most of our degrees into 7 pathways. We want to make sure that you guys are as successful as possible and are in the focused group that you want to be in. So we have a social science and education pathway, an arts and humanities, an agriculture, technical studies, that's going to cover our gunsmithing, our welding, our automotive, health and public services, business, and natural science. So we cover a really broad range and then have degrees within each of those. Like I said, we have dorms on campus. That's Cody the Cougar, that is our college mascot, just kind of showing us where our residence hall is and barbecuing. Our dorms offer opportunities for our international students, our out-of-state students, and our in-state students. So it's a really neat way to meet people from all over the country as well as the world. RA opportunities, if you wanted to help manage the dorms, you can be a residence officer, and they're super affordable. One of the cheapest ways to live. Few pictures of us, Lassen College. This is of our campus. We do get spring, summer, fall, and winter. So we do get all 4 seasons up here. We are in the mountains, so yes, we do get some snow. Our athletic teams. So we offer wrestling, volleyball, baseball, softball, men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, and our men's and women's rodeo team. And so that's just a little bit about us. So Lassen Community College, I am here to help you guys answer any questions that you have. My name again is Bridget Goen. Here is my email and my phone number, and I will put that in the chat as well. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of this evening, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to our next presenter.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, next up, we have the United States Military Academy of West Point, New York.
Yep. My name is Larry Smith, and I am an admissions representative for West Point. It's the United States Military Academy. Am I on here? Chelsea?
Yes, everything looks great.
Okay, because I don't see anything. Okay, fine. The United States Military Academy at West Point was founded in 1802. It was signed into existence by President Thomas Jefferson. We are 219 years old, and I think well known across the United States of America. We're a very unique school. We have to accept people from every congressional district in the United States of America, and we have a small enrollment. We enroll typically about 1,200 to 1,240 students per year that we call cadets. They are, however, in the United States Army when they enter West Point. They have to sign in, take an oath of office, and become a cadet. Cadets are paid, and there is no cost for their education. The full cost of the education is paid for by the United States government. What do we look for in candidates? We're looking for people who do 3 things. They are leaders, they are athletes, and they are scholars. So we take a mixture of all of that stuff and try to make it into the existing cadet candidate. We, for example, in the Elk Grove area and in Congressional District 7 of California, Ami Bera's district, will accept probably 1 or 2 students this year from that particular district. So we will discuss going to West Point with a number of students. We get 16,000 applications every year, and we whittle it down to about 1,200 that apply, that get in. You have to have a congressional nomination to get into West Point. A congressional nomination is simply a letter from the congressman, your congressman, in whatever district you live in, one of your 2 US senators from the state of California, or from the vice president of the United States. And a nomination is simply a letter that says that that person will guarantee that the United States government pays for your tuition. Without that letter, we cannot admit any student. What do we do when we get you there? Well, first we run you through a summer training program, which is like basic training in the Army. And then we start academics in mid-August. So we're in the first semester for those that are freshmen at this particular point in time, and we will virtually guarantee you that you will get through and graduate in 47 months. That's our goal, and we have very few exceptions to it. We will give you or grant you a Bachelor of Science degree in one of 36 majors, and they're about equally split between the math, science, engineering majors and the humanities majors. We have something for everybody, basically. And as a matter of fact, we allow people to graduate and go directly to medical school. We need doctors as well as we need anything else. So 2% of the graduating class can go on to medical school. The campus of West Point is approximately 50 miles north of New York City on the Hudson River. The cadets live there in dorms, if you want to call them that. We call them barracks. And they are mixed into 36 cadet companies, which all include seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen and women. The Corps of Cadets is approximately 25% female and 75% male. What do we do during the summertime? We have the summertime broken into 3 sessions, each about a month long. One of them is vacation. We force cadets to take vacation because they don't want to. There's so many other exciting things to do in the summertime funded by the government that it's crazy. So one of the 2 sessions that remains is a military session. We will send you to a military training school to do airborne jumping, air assault training. We even have a scuba diver school in Key West, Florida, if you can imagine that for the Army. The last session is an individual academic development program, and we send people all over the world. I know one cadet that went to Alaska to study glaciers. I know another cadet that served in worked in the White House. We just do everything. I know a cadet that went to Kazakhstan to live with a family to study their language and learn their language. Everything is possible. You come up with the idea, we'll see if we can make it happen. What do you do when you get out of West Point? Well, because we paid for your education, we expect you, or you are under contract to serve in the U.S. Army for 5 years after graduation as an officer, starting at the rank of 2nd lieutenant. There are 17 different specialties in the Army: infantry, armor, artillery, medical corps, chemical corps, and so on. You choose one of those and you go forward in your particular branch. At the end of 5 years, you can resign your commission from the active duty Army. You still have a 3-year reserve requirement, but you're a civilian and you stay home. So we're a unique university. We're well known. We've had 2 U.S. presidents graduate from West Point. That would be Ulysses S. Grant and Dwight David Eisenhower. We have members of Congress in the House of Representatives now. We have a senator in the Senate of the United States. We produce leaders of character. That's the thing that we do, leaders. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. All right, next up we have MTI College.
All right, hello everybody and good evening. Appreciate your patience throughout today. I am Cassidy Wages and I'm representing MTI College and Paul Mitchell, the school at MTI College. We are a community-based institution located in Sacramento, California. So we are in the capital and we have been here since 1965. We offer a lot of vocational programs in healthcare, legal, information technology, so IT, business, and then the cosmetology and barbering from Paul Mitchell. From our beginning, we have been training individuals for successful lifelong careers. When our school opened in 1965, we actually offered services to train people in things like learning to become a cashier or customer service, things that might seem a little silly now, but there's always employers that are looking for that experience. They want to make sure that you have some amount of expertise before you enter your job. I don't know if you guys have tried to find a job yet, but you'll find that once you start to explore and look around, that they want you to have experience, but they also want you to have schooling. And that combination can be hard to do when you're in school for that long. So our programs are built to get you here, get you the skills that you need, and then get you started in your career. That's basically what a vocational program is. So many jobs do require a degree, but sometimes all you need is a quick course or a certificate to give you those skills. And that's what we focus on here. We want our students to receive the education that they need, like I said, so that you can just start your career. And some of our programs are even only 9 months long. So you can graduate really fast and get into whatever you're trying to do, whether that is a diploma program or a degree. We usually don't have students that are here any longer than 2 years. So you really do get to start, finish, and then move on. In order to make that happen and make your time here as quick as possible, we have what we call employment-driven programs. They're designed to teach you the skills that you need without any of the extra general ed classes, which is something that when I was in college, I was very happy to hear. Because I was not very good at math, but I was very happy to hear that I only had one math class that I needed to take in order to succeed in what I wanted to do. So that's kind of what we do here. You still have the math that's relevant to your career, but you don't necessarily need every level of it that may be required at another school. So we give you what you need or what we believe you need based on the job criteria that you'll have, and then you go from there. As far as program formats go, I don't know how much research you've done into colleges so far, but COVID has thrown all of us into a little bit of a loop, and all the formats are changing. There's a lot of online classes, there's a lot of hybrid, just depending on what the campus can do. We have 3 different formats available right now. We have traditional on-campus classes like what you're used to. We have classes called online classes, which are a little different than some online classes you're used to. We actually offer classes that you do a little bit of the assignments that you're kind of familiar with, where you do them whenever you need to, turn them in by the due date. But then there's also structured classes, which is super important. So you get a chance to sit with a teacher virtually and get to talk with classmates virtually. And while that might not seem all that great if you haven't had a chance to take an online class yet, it is really important when you're doing so much class at home to have some connection with the people that you're going to school with. So they might have the same questions, or they might be able to help you in some degree. So you get a little bit of both. You get to work on your own and independently and work with your schedule, but you also get a chance to work with other people, which is really nice. And then lastly, we have Online Plus, which is kind of a structure that's similar to hybrid. But what we do is your first semester or part of your first semester is on campus, so that you are set up for success, so that you know exactly what you need for the rest of your program. And then the rest of your classes are all at home. So we do have a good combination of at home, but also traditional. Some of our traditional courses are things like phlebotomy, because as much as I would love to be able to teach you how to draw blood on a simulation on the computer, I feel like it's a little bit better to do it in person. So there are some that you do need to be here, but it's worth it for that education. And we've taken that into consideration. Regardless of whether or not you're taking classes on campus or you're at home, wherever you are, we want you to succeed while you're here. We want you to succeed in school. We want you to succeed after you graduate. We want you to get into your job. So we have an awesome financial aid team that spends a lot of time constantly working to make sure that you're not only saving money, but they find scholarships, and we push you to fill out those scholarships and get as much done so that you don't owe that much money when you're done. And then we also have an awesome career services team that help you get ready to enter the job field before you ever leave. So you get to create resumes with them. They sit down, they edit them with you. They teach you how to handle business interviews, or if you're into cosmetology, how to handle a cosmetology interview, because that's very different. And then they even help you find a job in your field years after you've graduated from here. So anytime that any of our graduates need help, they can come back and we help place them into new jobs. To sum things up, we're a small, close-knit community type of school. We're a community college type of feel, but it's more vocational. We do stuff online, but we also want you to know that we are here to help you. So whether you're trying to go into healthcare or legal or information technology, business, cosmetology, whatever it is, We're here to help you. And if you guys have any more questions about specific programs or anything, I'm going to drop some stuff into the chat so that you guys can get some more information. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Alrighty, so that is it for us with the colleges at this point. I am going to invite everybody back on to do a brief round robin so that you can hear from each person again on a question. So here is the slide. Alrighty, so what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we're going to start with Cal Maritime.
So this is an excellent question, and I give this information or this advice unsolicited to practically every high school student that I meet, is to keep an open mind. There are a lot of large schools out there that so many people have heard of just in passing or thanks to common references on television or in movies or in literature. And there are some tremendous smaller colleges out there as well that can be good fits for young men and young women who might not otherwise fit in at larger institutions of 25 or 55,000 or even 5,000. Sometimes something smaller, a little bit further away from home, possibly, you know, the next state or upstate, downstate, any of those. So I usually encourage students to keep an open mind. Not only does it benefit Cal Maritime because nobody's heard of us, but also there's a light bulb that will happen for them when they find that college, even if it's hearing about it for the first time, let's say November 15th, right before the application deadline, but it can happen. That moment for them can happen if they're just open to hearing about these institutions, because I guarantee you every counselor is going to be just as passionate as we all are about our institutions, and that will help make that connection for that student.
Awesome advice. Thank you. Lassen Community College.
So I'll mirror that a little bit. I do believe we kind of have the same philosophy in that way. Definitely keep an open mind. We try to encourage a lot of our students to not kind of rabbit hole themselves into one college. Have a backup plan. We advise a lot of our potential students, pick 6. You know, on your financial aid, on your FAFSA, you can list up to 10 colleges. List them. It's okay, because then you get information back from those different colleges about how they can help you financially, what'll work for you. So I like to keep it at the rule of 6, 2 that are kind of your slam dunk guarantee. I'm going to get in there, whether you're your local community colleges, a JC near you, something that, you know, you'll be happy with, you know, no matter what, and it's going to get you on the right path. 2, you know, I really want to go here schools, whether they're your CSUs, your UCs, something out of state, but that you really have a pretty good chance of getting into. You've seen the campuses, you're comfortable there. And then 2, dream schools. Heck, if they can make it work for you financially, you know, you can make it pan out. You'd be on cloud 9 if you ended up there. And so that way you have a really solid plan and you have lots of options available to you. The other thing I really recommend to the students, if at all possible, go and see the campuses, step foot on the campus, step foot in the town. You need to know that you're going to be comfortable living there, because there's a chance you're going to be there for 2 years, maybe 4 years, maybe 6 years, just depending on what you're after. And so those are kind of my suggestions and my advice as you're going through and looking at the college process. Don't, you know, kind of be narrow-minded, stay open-minded, look at lots of different options and set yourself up for a backup plan in case you need it, and then go and visit.
Absolutely. That was great. Thank you. West Point.
Yeah. Okay. Get it done now. That's what I advise. We are in the middle of our admission cycle right now. Our deadline for submission of all the stuff that needs to be submitted is the 31st of January. But if you wait that long with us, you're going to be frozen out. You need to get your nomination package into your congressman, and you need to get us the stuff we need. We have all sorts of unique requirements that other colleges don't have. We make you take a physical fitness test, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, that type of thing, and send us videos showing that you've done them correctly. We make you go through a full medical examination, and we pay for it. So that's another stumbling block that takes time to get by. So what you need to do is you need to start now on your application process, not just with us, but with other colleges as well. But we're really up against a wall at this point of people who haven't really been active in sending us stuff already. I agree with, let's go see the campus. We're in New York State and we are available. You can schedule a visit to the campus if you go to our admissions department website, which is at www.westpoint.edu/admissions. And when you schedule that, we may be able to put you together with a cadet so that you can go, or the candidate can go through our facilities and see what we have to offer. Last thing I say is we, West Point, are not the school for everybody. We're a very unique place. And if you don't think you fit, don't apply. If you want to come to us, you really want to come to us, and you need to internalize that. And if you do, we are looking for you. And we offer one whale of a good education. A few years ago, we were rated by Forbes as the #1 university in the United States of America. We're always up there in the top 10, 15, something like that. We are one great school. And that's all I will say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Awesome. MTI, what would you like to add to that?
All right, it's hard to go last, guys. You guys nailed it at the beginning, and then here we are. But I guess my additions to the things that you guys have had to say is don't be afraid. There's this level of not wanting to pick one school that's also super important. I agree. You should keep your options open, but don't be afraid or intimidated by the big options. I know when I went to school, I picked a smaller school to start because I was afraid of leaving home and going and doing all these things, or that I wouldn't succeed, or that these schools were these crazy, big, expensive places. But there's so many things out there for you and so many opportunities. So get yourself out there, just start asking questions. You'd be surprised how many of the people that are sitting in our seats have gone through that, and how many times we've stumbled and fell and figured out that maybe that wasn't the right decision, but we have that expertise. So ask questions to all the people that are here, because we're here for you. And then secondly, when you are doing all of your applications and when you're looking around, keep notes, not just keep notes on the schools, but when you put in application questions or you answer essays or things like that, just keep that, because you're going to probably copy it and paste it into the next one, and you'll have all that information. And when you sit down with a counselor or you get interviewed, you have answers to the questions that they're already going to ask you. So it's just a good little tip just to keep that information so that you don't have to go back and keep finding it again. And then that might be one more thing that'll keep you not discouraged, that you already have all that info, you can get through it, you can power through it, and then you can ask those questions and you'll feel comfortable to do it. So I guess just support yourself, be your best cheerleader, especially if you don't have one in life. All you can do is keep trying. That's all I got.
Wow, that was great. Thank you. We have time for one more question, so I'm going to throw that up here. So what's one thing you want students to remember about your school as we wrap up? Cal Maritime, you can go first.
I would probably say that we are like a private college experience where it is small, it's hands-on, you really connect with your peers and your faculty, but at a Cal State price.
Perfect, thank you. Lassen Community College.
So we really customize the experience to the students. You know, we really are that family and that family feel. So we make that great launching point for multiple ways about your career, whether you're launching into your career, a four-year university, or just improving your job set. So we are kind of a college for everyone, and we have a place for everyone.
Thank you. West Point.
Okay, we're different, very different. Our instructors are going to tell you on the first day that you meet them that this is their name, this is their home telephone number, and this is their personal email address. And if you have problems with your homework, you can call them at home until 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night from your barracks room. What I want you to understand is that we are a driven school. Cadets get about 5.5 hours sleep on average during the week, every night. So if you are interested in pursuing a top flight education, remember that about our school. Otherwise, go to Plan B, whatever it might be, and have fun. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. And MTI.
All right, if you guys didn't pick up on it in my presentation, you go to school here really fast. So if you're somebody that just wants to start working and you want to get into your field, or maybe you're in a field that needs a whole lot of experience, we help you with that. So like if you're going to go into a nursing program or a medical program, some of the stuff that we have available or the certificates we have available get you working in those fields even while you're still going to school. So we just want to help you while you're here, while you're not here, after school, to just get started. We want to make sure that you're in your career, not in school forever. So that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Thank you. All righty. I'm going to bring us up to the final go here. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you to our wonderful presenters. This was a really great session with a lot of information. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We appreciate any feedback that you can provide. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other sessions recordings at strivescan.com/elk-grove. And with that being said, our session is complete. Thank you everyone and have a wonderful evening.